9 News at noon starts right now.
Happening in a Boulder County courtroom right now, the woman who hit and killed a 17-year-old Team USA cyclist is being sentenced. Thanks for joining us. I'm Sam Shocker. Yeva Smiljanska fell asleep at the wheel before hitting Magnus White on a Boulder County highway in July of 2023. Back in July of 2023, Team USA cyclist Magnus White was training along Highway 119 just past 63rd Street when Smiljanska ran into him. A jury found her guilty of felony vehicular homicide earlier this year. She faces a sentence of 2 to 6 years. 9 News reporter Kevin Vaughn is inside the courtroom and will have the details later today on 9 News. New at noon, a man who had murder charges against him dropped has now filed a federal lawsuit claiming racial bias and, quote, selective prosecution. Stefan Long filed the suit against the city of Denver and 2 DPD officers. In June 2023, he claims he feared for his life when he shot and killed Damon and Blake Lucas on I-25 near 8th Avenue during a road rage incident. Police arrested him moments after, and he was later charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. Long claimed self-defense from the start. Then Denver DeBeth McCann would eventually go on to agree dropping those charges, and now the lawsuit is seeking damages for the amount of time Long spent in jail waiting for those charges to be dropped. Israel says it launched an unprecedented attack on Iran, targeting the country's nuclear sites and top military leaders. Iran then retaliated. NBC's Keir Simmons has more.
A blinding flash as waves of explosions blast Iran's capital overnight. Here, a terrified Iranian woman films from her window, then down on the street. They are hitting. They hit 3 or 4 back to back, she says.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat to Israel's very survival.
This morning, an apartment building still burning. The attacks hitting residential areas, killing Iran's 3 most senior military leaders and targeting its nuclear program. Here, thick black smoke rises above the Natanz nuclear facility. This video, Israel says, shows their military simultaneously taking out Iranian defenses. More than 10 locations outside the capital were hit, Iran's state media said, and multiple sites in Tehran itself. The Secretary of State releasing a short statement calling the action unilateral, writing, "We are not involved," while Israel's Prime Minister in a televised address in English saying there is more to come.
This operation will continue for as many days as it takes to remove this threat.
And this morning, Iran launching a counterattack. Passengers at Tel Aviv airport stranded. Hospitals preparing underground facilities, while ordinary Israelis stock up on essentials, fearing what might come next. Still, many saying they support the action.
We had no choice. I really feel like this was a last-minute decision because we had no choice.
And this morning, President Trump posting that he told Iran to make a deal, but they, quote, couldn't get it done. The president writing, certain Iranian hardliners spoke bravely, but they didn't know what was about to happen. They are all dead now, and adding, Iran must make a deal before there is nothing left.
Investigators of yesterday's plane crash in a western Indian city that killed more than 290 people say they recovered a digital video recorder from that crash site. Officials were also seen carrying sacks of other recovered items from the crash site. Air India has said the investigation will take time. Plane maker Boeing has said a team of experts is ready to go to India to help the probe. Today, the sole survivor spoke from a hospital bed saying he had to climb out of a broken emergency exit after the plane had crashed. The man is a British national of Indian origin. He said the plane appeared to come to a standstill in midair for a few seconds shortly after takeoff before it eventually went down. The man said he thought he was going to die, but miraculously, doctors say he did not sustain any major injuries. Switching gears here, well, rinse and repeat. We have more afternoon storms possible today. It looks gorgeous outside, though. So let's check in with Keely Chalmers with our 9 News Weather Impact team. She's here now with what we need to know. Keely.
Yeah, we do have another round of afternoon showers and storms. Some of them could be severe, no question, mainly across the northeast corner of the state and the far eastern plains, but we'll likely see a little activity, a weaker storm here in the metro area as well. So partly cloudy. That is our forecast for today for most of the day. But things change after about 2, 3 o'clock. Temperatures right now in the upper 70s and low 80s. Current temperatures across the plains in the 70s and 80s. We're in the 60s and 70s up in the mountains. Okay, here is our severe thunderstorm risk. And you can see here, just east of the metro area, north of the metro area, we have green. This is a level 1 risk, level 2 here in yellow. So this is most likely where we'll see those strong to severe thunderstorms. We're talking about large damaging hail as well as strong damaging winds. So those isolated storms in the forecast for today, again, weaker storms expected in and around the metro area. We do have the threat for severe weather across the northeast corner of the state. And hey, we are looking at a hot and dry, not just weekend, but our 7-day forecast is looking pretty hot and dry as well. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a bit.
Keely, thank you. Well, did you feel a little shaking early this morning? The USGS says there was an earthquake near Dacono that registered 2.9 magnitude around 6:15. Some in the north part of the metro did feel it. Even one person caught some of the shaking on a baby cam. If you could see there. All right, well, a federal judge has ruled that, at least for now, the federal government cannot deport the wife and children of a man accused of attacking demonstrators in Boulder. Mohammed Solomon faces 62 criminal counts in state court and a federal hate crime charge for accusations he hurled Molotov cocktails at people marching to raise awareness of Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. His wife and 5 children were taken from their home in Colorado Springs soon after the attack and sent to Texas. The Trump administration said they would be deported immediately, but a federal judge in Colorado ruled yesterday his family cannot be deported until they have had a chance to contest their removal from the U.S. The judge pointed out that ICE never corrected those White House statements, despite knowing they were wrong. He ruled this lack of clarity as a reason to keep protections in place.
What Judge Gallagher wrote is that the government's brief does not disavow the White House's social media post. Specifically, it says the government brief does not disavow the White House's earlier pronouncements that it intends to attempt to expeditedly remove the family.
So the family isn't facing expedited deportation, just a standard removal case that could take months or even years. The attorneys we spoke with say the family is doing okay, but this whole situation has been traumatic for everyone. Investigators are trying to figure out what sparked a fire that burned a large house in Brighton. This is in a neighborhood off of East 136th Avenue near 470. Brighton Fire got multiple calls about it just after 6 yesterday evening. They say 2 people were inside the house when it happened. Firefighters got them out and they were taken to the hospital. We don't know how badly they were hurt. We are making calls right now to find out how they are doing. We spoke with a neighbor who was out in his backyard when he started to see smoke.
Within 30 seconds, there was a loud explosion, and I was concerned because he has propane tanks on the property. We're fortunate that the wind wasn't blowing this way because it eventually would have caught that field, the open space behind us on fire, and then all of us here would have had to take precautions.
And the fire did briefly threaten a neighboring home, but firefighters were able to knock down the fire before that happened. Several cats from the home are still missing.